Imagine you're 12 years old. No school. No mom sitting you down for the talk. No internet to Google what's happening. Just you, alone, in the middle of the Ice Age, and your body just did something you have absolutely no explanation for. No pads. No tampons. No doctors. No pharmacy around the corner. Just instinct, plants, fire, and 200,000 years of trial and error. Today, we're going all the way back to the very first period in human history, and how it accidentally shaped civilization itself. Because what happened next wasn't just about survival. It became one of the most powerful, most guarded secrets in early human society. And by the end of this video, you're going to look at the Stone Age completely differently. Let's set the scene. Around 200,000 years ago, early Homo sapiens lived in small nomadic bands, maybe 20 to 30 people, max. No walls. No doors. No privacy. Everyone slept near the same fire, ate the same meat, and knew everyone else's business. So when a young girl bled for the first time, with no wound, no injury, nothing that made sense, it wasn't just confusing. It was terrifying. Early humans had zero concept of biology. No idea about eggs, hormones, or reproductive cycles. As far as she knew, she might be dying. But here's the thing, she wasn't the first. Not even close. And that's where survival kicked in. Older women in the group had seen this before. Again and again, generation after generation. They knew this wasn't sickness. This wasn't a curse. This was something else, something that happened to every single woman, on a schedule almost nobody understood yet. Anthropologists believe this exact moment, the first period, may be one of the oldest rites of passage in all of human history. Older than religion. Older than agriculture. Older than most things we consider civilization. In many early societies, blood without a wound wasn't seen as gross or shameful, it was seen as almost supernatural. Something powerful. Something worth watching closely, not hiding away. And here's where it gets genuinely wild. Some researchers believe the earliest calendars in human history weren't built to track harvests, or hunting seasons, or the weather at all. They were built by women, tracking their own bodies. There's a piece of evidence for this that blows most people's minds. It's called the Labambo bone, a small baboon fibula discovered in a cave in Africa, dating back over 20,000 years. Carved into it? 29 tally marks. Almost exactly matching the length of a lunar cycle and a menstrual cycle. Think about that for a second. The first calendar in human history might not have come from farming. It might have come from a woman, sitting by a fire, quietly counting days on a bone, turning her own body into the world's first clock. So, what did ancient women actually do when their period arrived? No pharmacy. No products. Just raw materials straight from the land around them. And honestly? Their solutions were smarter, and way more resourceful, than most people expect from the Stone Age. In colder climates, women collected soft, absorbent moss and dried it by the fire before use, breathable, disposable, and surprisingly effective. In warmer regions, they used shredded bark, soft grasses, or plant fibers, folded and rolled like natural padding. In hunting-based communities, worn-down animal hide was cleaned, softened with stone tools, and reused, essentially the Ice Age version of a cloth pad, washed in the river and dried by the fire, ready to use again next cycle. As civilizations advanced, so did the methods. In ancient Egypt, historical texts suggest women rolled softened papyrus into absorbent material. In ancient Greece, records describe lint wrapped tightly around small pieces of wood. Ancient Rome had similar methods using soft wool. Even in Japan, later historical records describe paper-based methods, refined over centuries. Different continents. Different climates. Different centuries. But the same basic instinct, echoing across the entire human species: absorb it, manage it, and keep moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, here's something that surprises almost everyone. In many hunter-gatherer societies, women did not stop working during their cycle. There's strong anthropological evidence that women hunted, foraged, traveled, and worked through it. This wasn't the fragile, stay-in-bed image that pop culture sometimes paints. Survival didn't pause for anyone. That said, some cultures did create separate customs. In certain early and indigenous societies, menstruating women stayed in a specific hut or designated space during their cycle. And no, this wasn't always about shame or exile like some assume. In many cases, historians and anthropologists believe it functioned as an early form of rest, recovery, and community bonding. The exact reasons still spark debate, because practices varied wildly from region to region, culture to culture. But here's the twist historians find fascinating. Some researchers argue these separate spaces may have functioned as humanity's first female-only social spaces. Places where real knowledge about the body, about childbirth, about survival itself, was passed down. Mother to daughter, elder to teenager, woman to woman. And remember, there was no written language yet. No books. No manuals. This knowledge survived purely through spoken word, repeated for tens of thousands of years, making it possibly one of the oldest continuously passed down pieces of human knowledge on the entire planet. Longer than most religions. Longer than most languages still spoken today. Now here's the twist almost nobody talks about. This biological mystery didn't just affect the girl going through it, it quietly reshaped the entire structure of early human society. Some anthropologists propose something called the sex strike hypothesis, the idea that predictable, tracked cycles may have influenced early cooperation between men and women, encouraging food sharing, gift giving, and stronger social bonds within the group. It's still debated among researchers, but it shows just how deeply this one biological process may have shaped early human survival strategy. Here's what we do know for certain: the ability to track cycles gave early humans one of their very first tools for predicting the future. Not the weather. Not the seasons. The human body itself, used as a clock long before clocks existed. And that instinct, to track, to predict, to prepare, many historians believe it laid early groundwork for the mathematical thinking that eventually led to full lunar and solar calendars. The exact same systems that later farming societies used to know precisely when to plant crops and when to harvest them. In other words, agriculture itself may owe a quiet debt to menstrual tracking. So let's go back to that terrified girl at the very beginning of this story. Alone. Confused. Convinced something was wrong with her. She wasn't alone for long. She became one link in an unbroken chain, mother to daughter, elder to teenager, of women observing, understanding, and quietly mastering their own bodies. No products. No doctors. No internet. Just instinct, plants, fire, and each other. And that unbroken chain? It stretched over 200,000 years, proving that one of humanity's oldest mysteries was being solved by women long before history ever bothered writing it down. So, what do you think ancient women deserved more credit for? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more real history, told exactly the way it actually happened, hit subscribe, because this is just the beginning.